Hey everybody, we're starting a new Krita class series. We're going to be going over more file management, the software settings, things like that to kind of improve workflows or do more advanced things within Krita besides just illustrating or photo editing and things like that. So first I'm going to go over new image. So this is going to be a little bit more advanced, so if you've been using Krita for a while, I'm not going to go over everything, but just some basics to help speed things up or make your work more consistent going forward. So for custom document, we actually have predefined settings that by default you're probably going to use one of these. However, you can make a ton of custom options that you may need going forward. So I have custom landscape, I have a post-it template. Let's say you want to do like a banner for your website and it has to be, let's see, there's like a limit on the size for whatever platform you're using. We'll just say it's like 2500 by 1200. We can save this as website banner, and we're going to leave everything else as is. But however, if you want to keep the color mode as CMYK, maybe, well, for websites you want RGB, so maybe you want to do like a 16 or 32-bit, you can change that, and then we're going to save that. So that we have the website banner information saved, we can go back to predefined, click on whatever other option there is, and you can see that the width and height changes, and we go back to website banner and it is exactly as we saved it when we created these dimensions. Another thing you may want to do is modify the background. I always have a background color as the canvas color. This way I have a full 4 layers that are usable for background and then 3 paint layers. They're all technically paint layers, but background is usually where I put like a white background or fill it with white for like final image sharing, or maybe there's other things I need to put there, like guides and stuff like that. You can save it as a raster layer, which is a paint layer, or as a fill layer if you'd like. I just keep it as canvas color. That way I don't have any issues turning it on and off, things like that. And you can also go back to your background opacity and reduce it to 0, so you can get a checkerboard out of that. If you need a transparent file to work in off the bat, for texture templates you may want to do that. So otherwise I'm just going to leave that as is and hit create, and now we have our website banner file that we've opened. Another important section of Krita for changing things to customize your workflows and just making it easier is going to configure Krita. We have a lot of options in here. We have just general things, so if you want to change your auto-saving, maybe every 7 minutes is too much. Maybe you prefer it to be every like 15, 20, 30 minutes. You can go ahead and change it here. I'm just going to leave it at 7 because it's been working great for me lately. You can do a create backup file on saving. So you can use a specific folder. To use a temporary file location, you can use the user folder, you can use the same folder as original file. I like all my backup files to be in the same folder as the original file because it makes it much easier to find if something goes wrong, and I hate digging through folders anyway, so I'm leaving that as is. If you want to change the suffix to identify that it's a backup file, you can change it to something else. You can do an asterisk here. For the backup file suffix, I don't think you can change it, at least it wouldn't let me change it, so I'm just going to leave it as is. Even though it looks like I can edit it. You can also say how many backup files you want. I leave it at 1, however I may be changing this to 2 or 3 later on because sometimes I save over the original file and then the backup file hasn't updated yet, or I just want to compare file changes. So you can change how many you want to be kept. There are other tabs within the general section, pasting, if you're dragging it like a web browser or something like that. You have your window options, cursor tools, all sorts of stuff. Some things you may want to change specifically when you're working is you can change your brush icon. Maybe it's just hard to see. You can do a small circle, you can do a crosshair. I'll actually show you that here. So you can see my crosshair here. That is a nice big mouse. It doesn't show up anywhere on the Dockers, only within the canvas. Go back to image, oops. Go back to settings, configure Krita. I'm gonna change my cursor back to, I think it was small circle, no icon, I don't remember. You can do the brush outline color if you want it to be very vibrant, or very dark, depending on your canvas color, because I use a grayish canvas color. A bright color works better for me, but if you use mostly white or lighter canvas colors, things like that, a darker color may be better. You can also use separate settings for the eraser. So if you want to see the outline, maybe you want a tilt, preview circle, so tilt. If I use my pen, can't see it too much, but it slowly moves along with the cursor. Like there's a little pink outline that shows up. And then for miscellaneous, I would recommend maybe changing your undo stack size. Maybe you need it higher than 200, or maybe 200 is too much for your computer, or for whatever reason you just want to change it to something different, you can. There are other tabs in here as well you can go through. I just wanted to go over some basics that might increase your productivity in Krita or make life a little bit easier. We have keyboard shortcuts, where if you want to turn things off, you can, or just want to see what the shortcut is for certain features. So if you go to the search bar up here, you can just search whatever tool you want to use, which is undo. You can see that I have undo polygon selection points, which is Shift Z, and then a basic undo, which is Control Z, which is typical for most programs. So if you want to go through and take a look at what shortcuts there are, you can go through and search, let's say save. You have different options for save, the file saving, and then layer saving. Don't have any shortcuts, so maybe you want to save merged and you create a shortcut for that, in which case you would just click and put your keys in. So if I wanted to, I could say Control 5, which wouldn't really work because I'm pretty sure that's tied to something else, but that's just an example. Performance, so if you have a higher computer and you want to boost up how much memory Krita uses, you can. I recommend leaving it at 50%. I recommend leaving it at the default unless you really know what you're doing. I have enough memory to increase this, but because I have a lot of other programs going on at once a lot of the times, I just leave it as is. I'm not going to touch it. You can change your animation cache. So if you are animating a lot, every time it plays, it creates like a preview, which is your cache. If you want to, or if you've played it back too many times and Krita's getting a little laggy, you can say, oh, increase the cache or reduce it so it can just not take up so much space in your computer. You have tablet settings, which I believe is the most important one. I don't have anything changed for my tablet settings. Everything's default. However, if you have a very specific pressure sensitivity that you're used to, so for example, I can create some curves here. So I can raise the low pressure, so like lighter touches come off as harder than they are, or high pressure require more sensitive strokes. Sorry. So you have canvas only mode, so when you hit tab and go into only the canvas, everything basically is hidden. I like the toolbars here, so if I say, the toolbars, leave that open, I hit tab. I now have my file save, my eraser, I have the basics up here. So you can go and customize that to make your life a little bit easier. And of course you have pop-up palette, which I have a couple of videos on those. I won't go into too much detail, but if you want to add more brush options to your pop-up palette, you can change it here. My default was 16, so I can add up to 16 brushes to a tag and they will all show up in the pop-up palette. I can add more, but they won't all show. I can change the palette size. I can change the selector here to the wide gamut, which I'm actually going to leave because that's going to be the default soon. And then you can change how the color history ring looks, selector size, all that good stuff. So author, if you are sharing your Krita files with somebody else, you can go ahead and create an author profile here, and you can go to anonymous, so nothing will be saved, or you can add your actual information. So I have my homepage, I have my email in here, and I can say, yeah, let's do that, and hit OK. And if I were to save this, if I go to document information, it would all, oh, yeah, cool. It didn't have to be saved, but it's all showing up here as the author. Color selector settings, we've gone over this already in the color series video, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but it's basically just showing if you want patches in your color preview, or the gradient, changing how you can select different shades, the color history if you want a vertical or horizontal layout here. You can change how many columns you would like, how many rows, all that good stuff. And then the Python plugin manager, there are a bunch of plugins within Krita, not all of them are activated. However, if you have a plugin that you have made yourself, if you're used to code and things like that, you can go and add your plugins. You can turn them on and off, or if somebody else has a plugin that you want to try out, you can go ahead and activate that here. Some other important settings in Krita that I want to go over. If you go to settings and then go to resource libraries, this is basically all the libraries of brushes, palettes, anything you can export, import into Krita that's like a unique setting you would want to manage here. These are all the stuff that I've already imported. So I have my stuff, which is Missy stuff. It's just whenever I have to update something, I go ahead and make myself a bundle, or I update the bundle, I import it back in. This is mostly used when I'm going from one computer to another. I will be creating a official bundle so I can share it with you guys in the future. That will be in a video coming up too. And then you can go to manage resources. You can take a look at everything that you have. So this is, right now, everything in here is just like the default that comes with Krita. I don't think I have anything else, but you can actually organize it through each bundle. Let's say, so under Missy stuff, I have my own unique palette. Now I will say the category that you're choosing will not show up in every bundle because not every bundle has something. So if I go to the Krita 3 resource bundle and go to patterns, you can see I have something, but not everything, every category has anything there. So there's workspaces, there's window layouts. If you go to workspaces and I go to Missy stuff, I'll have my workspace, but because I don't have anything else for, I have brush presets. I don't have anything for layer styles, nothing is gonna show up. But if one of these bundles has a layer style that's specific to that bundle, it will show up. I don't think any of these do though. Oh, there we go, custom styles. So you can do that. That's it for this video. This was just like a basic introduction to the file settings, some basics to change for your benefit in the future. These are also things I normally change myself, or at least I go mess with once in a while to see if maybe it'll improve whatever it is I'm doing. In the next video, we are going to be going over the bundles more in depth, how to create our bundle, how to export, and how to import. And that includes other resources that aren't bundles, like brushes and things like that, from other Krita users. There are Photoshop brushes we can import, but that's going to be a separate video because that's a way more advanced topic that requires brush customization. Thank you guys for watching. There's no homework that comes with this video, but if you would like maybe some extra credit anyway, you can go ahead and start messing with the settings and fine-tuning them to your unique needs. Maybe you just want to go through and add in your own keyboard shortcut. Maybe you want to modify the display for whatever reason. Maybe you want to change the canvas looming settings to something different so you always have the toolbars showing, you know, or add in your author information. So no matter what, you always have this in here for your Krita files. All right, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. And if you haven't already, go check out my Kickstarter for my next comic, The Pumpkin Prince Book 2. If you're interested in fantasy, mystery, and indie comics, I highly recommend going to check it out. There's page work, and there are also a lot of tiers you can choose from that are budget friendly and have extra goodies. So either I see you in the next video or I will see you over on my Kickstarter.